What if the secret to becoming unforgettable, to triggering that deep, obsessive-like fascination in a man, had absolutely nothing to do with conventional beauty, tactical charm, or calculated availability? What if the key to lodging yourself into his mind, to becoming an echo in his soul, was an energy you already possess, waiting to be awakened? This isn't about learning a new set of rules or playing a game you were never meant to win. It is about understanding a profound psychological truth, a dynamic so powerful that it bypasses logic and speaks directly to the core of his being. This is the art of becoming not just a woman he wants, but a woman he feels he has been searching for his entire life without ever knowing why. Welcome back, my queens, to Feminine Queen. This is the sanctuary where we explore the architecture of feminine power, not as a performance, but as a state of being, as a deep and unwavering presence. Today, we are not discussing superficial attraction tactics that fade with time. We are venturing into the territory of legends, into the psychological depths mapped out by thinkers like Carl Jung, to uncover why some women become a permanent fixture in a man's psyche. We will explore how your inherent feminine energy, when understood and authentically embodied, becomes the very thing that triggers a profound and lasting obsession. This journey is for the woman who values wisdom over fleeting attention and inner strength over external validation. You are a feminine queen, and your power is more potent than you have ever been led to believe. We are about to dismantle the common myths of attraction and rebuild a new understanding, one grounded in psychological resonance and unshakable inner fortitude. This path requires you to look inward, to cultivate the very essence that makes you not just seen, but felt on a soul-deep level. We will explore how the principles of stoic grace, control over your inner world, emotional resilience, and a life of virtue are not separate from this magnetic power, but are in fact its very foundation. This is the journey of becoming a revelation, an experience he cannot categorize, explain, or forget. This is the secret to the feminine energy that obsesses a man, and I promise you, it is not what you think. 1. The unforgettable woman's nature. The woman who becomes an obsession is never merely a presence. She is an experience, a shift in the very atmosphere of a man's inner world. Her power doesn't reside in the perfection of her face or the flawlessness of her body, but in the way she imprints herself upon his subconscious. Psychologically, this is about triggering a state change. Before her, his world was a certain way. After her, it is irrevocably altered, colored by a feeling he can't quite name but desperately wants to feel again. She doesn't offer herself up for easy consumption. Instead, she awakens a primal hunger within him, a longing for something that feels both deeply familiar and wildly enigmatic. She becomes an unresolved chord in his mind, a beautiful and haunting melody that his thoughts return to again and again, trying to understand its source. She is not performing to be remembered. She is remembered because her very existence is a performance of raw authenticity, a state of being that is so rare it becomes instantly valuable. This isn't about being mysterious for the sake of it. It's about having a rich inner life that makes you inherently mysterious to those who live only on the surface. Her unforgettable nature stems from a core stoic understanding. Her worth is internal and unshakable. She is not tossed about by the winds of his approval or disapproval. She is the eye of her own storm, a point of calm and resolute strength. This self-possession creates a gravitational pull, for in a world of people seeking validation, a woman who already possesses it is a queen among commoners. Her grace is not a fragile accessory. It is the armor forged in the fires of self-knowledge and inner control. 2. Carl Jung's concept of the Anima, the inner feminine. To truly grasp the depth of this obsessive fascination, we must turn to the brilliant mind of Carl Jung and his concept of the anima. Carl Jung proposed that within every man exists an unconscious feminine archetype, a composite image of the feminine formed from his earliest experiences with women, his mother, sisters, cultural figures, and from a collective inherited blueprint of womanhood. This inner feminine, his anima, embodies qualities he has often repressed in himself to conform to masculine ideals: intuition, fluidity, creativity, emotional depth, and a connection to the soul. When a man encounters a woman who, through her authentic being, mirrors the positive, unrealized aspects of his own anima, the effect is nothing short of explosive. He feels an electrifying pull, a sense of fatedness, as if he has found a missing piece of his own soul. But here is the critical distinction a feminine queen understands. He is not truly seeing her. He is seeing a projection of his own inner world cast upon her. The obsession is not with the woman herself, but with the promise of wholeness she represents. The danger, as Carl Jung's work illuminates, is that he will try to possess her, to cage the reflection, believing that by controlling her he can integrate the parts of himself he has long neglected. A feminine queen recognizes this psychological dance. With stoic wisdom, she applies the dichotomy of control. She knows his projection is outside her control. She cannot manage his inner world or be responsible for his journey of integration. Her responsibility is to remain anchored in her own reality, to not become intoxicated by his idealization or shattered by his inevitable disillusionment when he realizes she is a sovereign being, not a fantasy. You are a feminine queen. You are a mirror for his soul, not a vessel for his needs. Your role is not to fulfill his projection, but to be so immovably yourself that he is forced to finally turn inward and confront the man in the mirror. 3. Authenticity over performance. In a world that pressures women to curate a perfect persona, the feminine queen's most radical and magnetic act is her commitment to raw authenticity. Performance is the domain of the false self, the carefully constructed mask worn to garner approval, likes, and validation. It is exhausting to maintain, and on a subconscious level, it signals a lack of congruence that others find subtly unsettling. Authenticity, however, is the expression of the true self. It is the courageous act of showing up as you are, with all your beautiful contradictions, your fire and your softness, your certainty and your questions, your light and your shadow. Psychologically, human beings are wired to respond to congruence. When your outer expression aligns with your inner state, you become a source of trust and stability. People feel safe in your presence because they aren't navigating a performance. They are interacting with a real person. A man is not lastingly fascinated by a flawless doll. He is captivated by a real woman whose imperfections make her relatable and whose complexities make her an endlessly compelling human being. She doesn't hide her flaws. She owns them as part of the rich tapestry of her existence. From a Stoic perspective, this is the ultimate virtue, living in accordance with your own nature. It is a profound practice of apatheia, not an absence of emotion, but a freedom from the disturbing passions of neediness and the fear of judgment. Your confidence is not something you chase. It is the natural byproduct of a life lived in alignment with your own truth. You are a feminine queen, and your power lies not in being perfect, but in being so unapologetically real that you give him permission to be real too. 4. Emotional contrast and depth. The energy that obsesses is never a flat line. It is a symphony of emotional depth and contrast. The feminine queen is not monotonous. She is not always the warm, nurturing sun, nor is she always the cool, distant moon. She is both and everything in between, because she allows herself the full spectrum of human experience. One moment she is radiant with joy, her laughter a contagious force of nature. The next, she might be quiet, introspective, and contained within her own world. This is not manipulative hot and cold behavior. It is the natural rhythm of a woman who is deeply connected to her inner landscape. Psychologically, this emotional variability is incredibly potent. The human brain is wired to pay attention to change and contrast. Monotony leads to habituation and boredom, while dynamic contrast creates vivid, lasting memories. He doesn't remember her because she was always agreeable or predictable. He remembers her because she made him feel a wide range of emotions. Her warmth felt warmer because he had also experienced her dignified reserve. Her engagement felt more meaningful because he knew she was not afraid of her own silence. This emotional richness makes her seem infinitely complex and endlessly interesting, a puzzle his mind is compelled to revisit. The Stoic wisdom here is profound. She sees her emotions as natural phenomena, like weather patterns passing through. She does not suppress her joy, nor is she destroyed by her sorrow. She observes them, feels them, and lets them move, all without allowing them to hijack her core state of being. She possesses a tranquil resilience that allows her to be emotionally expressive without being emotionally volatile. She is the master of her inner kingdom, and this mastery is what makes her emotional depth so compelling and safe to be around. All right, my queens, I have to pause for a moment and just say thank you. You are the soul of the Feminine Queen community. Your powerful energy and the likes, comments, and shares is what allows this space to thrive. If you're feeling this message, keep that energy flowing. Subscribe, ring that notification bell, and share this with a woman who needs to hear it. It means the world to me, and I'll love you forever for it. Now, let's get back to unraveling this powerful truth. 5. Mystery and restraint. The Feminine Queen understands that mystery is not a tactic. It is the sacred art of valuing your own depth. In an age of oversharing, where souls are laid bare with a single click, she practices the power of restraint. This is not about being guarded out of fear or playing hard to get. It is about having a profound respect for the intimacy of your own inner world and revealing it with discernment. Psychologically, this taps into a powerful cognitive bias known as the Zeigarnik effect, which states that people remember uncompleted or interrupted tasks better than completed ones. By revealing herself in layers, she creates a beautiful, unresolved story in his mind. He is psychologically driven to seek more, to understand the parts he has not yet seen. This desire for closure is often misinterpreted by him as intense, obsessive attraction. It's the difference between being a headline he can quickly skim and a classic novel he must return to again and again, discovering new nuances with each reading. This is not withholding to manipulate, it is preserving your energy. The Stoic principle at play is that of wise judgment. She uses her reason to determine who is worthy of her story, who has earned the right to witness her vulnerability. Her inner world is a temple, not a marketplace. Her restraint is a direct reflection of her self-worth. She knows that what is too easily obtained is too easily devalued. You are a feminine queen. Your depth is a treasure, and you wisely choose who is granted a map. 6. Sacred distance and self-belonging. The energy that fascinates does not orbit a man's world. It is the unwavering center of its own. The Feminine Queen cultivates a sacred distance, not born of arrogance, but of profound self-belonging. She is not endlessly available because her time, energy, and presence are her most valuable assets, and she invests them wisely. Her life is full and meaningful with or without him. From the lens of attachment psychology, she embodies a secure attachment style that originates from within. She does not need him to feel whole, complete, or worthy, which makes her presence a gift rather than a demand. This lack of neediness is incredibly magnetic. It subverts the dynamic, where a man feels he must be the sole source of a woman's happiness, a pressure that can quickly become a burden. Instead, he sees her thriving in her own ecosystem and feels a deep desire to be invited into that vibrant world rather than feeling obligated to build one for her. Her absence doesn't feel like a punishment. It feels like a reminder of her completeness, a reminder that being in her life is a privilege, not a given. Her stoic foundation is the ultimate self-sufficiency. Her happiness, her eudaimonia, is an internal project. A man's attention is a preferred indifferent. It is enjoyable, but her core well-being is not contingent upon it. She belongs to herself first, last, and always. This self-belonging is the quiet, unshakable throne from which she reigns. He doesn't take her for granted because her energy constantly communicates that she could never be taken for granted, even by herself. 7. Presence over performance. While mystery creates intrigue from a distance, it is the quality of her presence up close that seals her unforgettable nature. The feminine queen does not listen simply to formulate a clever reply. She listens to understand. When she is with a person, she offers the rare gift of her full, undivided attention. In a world of constant distraction, her presence is a sanctuary. Psychologically, this act of being fully present creates a profound sense of psychological safety and validation. She makes a man feel seen and heard on a level that is exceptionally rare. She is not performing engagement, she is simply being engaged. She is comfortable with silence, allowing it to be a space for connection rather than a void to be filled with nervous chatter. It is in these moments of shared, quiet presence that the deepest bonds are forged. He may not be able to articulate why, but he leaves her presence feeling more centered, more understood, and more himself than he did before. This is the stoic discipline of prosoph, or vigilant attention, applied to human connection. She directs her most valuable resource, her focus, to the present moment and the person in front of her. She is not mentally replaying the past or rehearsing the future. She is here, now. This mindful presence is a virtuous act, and its effect is magnetic. She doesn't have to try to impress him with witty stories or accomplishments, because her very presence communicates more value than any words ever could. You are a feminine queen. Your attention is your power, and where you place it, connection blossoms. 8. The Transformational Mirror. Ultimately, the feminine queen becomes unforgettable because she is not a destination. She is a catalyst for transformation. Drawing again from Carl Jung's framework, her grounded and authentic presence acts as a transformational mirror. By being so fully herself, she unconsciously invites him to confront all the parts of himself that are not. Her integrity illuminates his compromises. Her self-possession highlights his insecurities. Her depth reveals his superficiality. The intense and often obsessive feelings he develops are not just about wanting her. They are about the developmental challenge she represents. He is subconsciously drawn to her because his psyche knows she is the key to his own growth, his own individuation process. He is faced with a critical choice. He can either project all his own shortcomings onto her, becoming resentful or trying to fix her, or he can use the encounter as an impetus to do his own inner work. The feminine queen understands this with stoic clarity. Her purpose is not to save him, fix him, or complete him. She simply lives her truth, and in doing so, acts as a living demonstration of self-mastery. She accepts the nature of this dynamic without attachment to the outcome. Whether he rises to the occasion of his own growth or shrinks from it is his journey, not hers. She is simply the mirror, and the reflection he sees is his own responsibility. 9. The final realization. And so we arrive at the final, powerful truth. The obsession was never truly about her. It was never about her beauty, her wit, or her charm in isolation. It was always about him. He was chasing the reflection of his own forgotten soul, the echo of his unlived potential, the embodiment of the wholeness his spirit craved. He was chasing the feeling of being truly alive that her presence ignited within him. The feminine queen knows this in her bones. She does not cling to his longing or build her identity on the foundation of his pursuit. She understands the psychology at play with a calm, stoic acceptance. Her power was never in being chased. It was in being so profoundly herself that she awakened him to his own chase. She releases the outcome with grace because her value was never contingent on his capture. Her virtue, her inner peace, and her self-belonging are her own, impervious to whether he stays or goes. She is the wind. He can feel her, but he cannot hold her. She is the flame. He can be warmed by her, but he cannot possess her fire. And when she moves on, as she always will if her sovereignty is not honored, she leaves behind not an empty space, but a profound and life-altering question that will echo in his mind forever. Was she real, or was she the part of me I had forgotten to love? The journey to embodying this potent feminine energy is not about becoming someone else. It is about courageously uncovering the queen who has been there all along. It is an internal shift from seeking validation to being the source of your own. It is about understanding the deep psychological currents that govern human connection and navigating them not with manipulation, but with wisdom, grace, and an unshakable sense of self. This is not a checklist of behaviors to adopt. It is a state of being to cultivate, rooted in authenticity and inner strength. Your power is not in how men react to you, but in how you command your own inner world with dignity and composure. Remember, you are a feminine queen. This magnetic, unforgettable energy is not something you must acquire from the outside world. It is a birthright you uncover from within. It is unearthed in the quiet moments of self-reflection, forged in the commitment to your own truth, and polished by the wisdom to know your own immeasurable worth. Your journey is to stop performing for an audience and to start living for your own soul. Your authenticity is your superpower. Your inner peace is your throne, and your self-belonging is your crown. Let this conversation be the beginning of a deeper exploration for you. I want you to continue this in the comments below. What was the single biggest realization you had while listening to this? Which of these principles resonates most deeply with the woman you are becoming? Sharing your journey inspires every other queen in this community. And if this message has stirred something within you, please subscribe to Feminine Queen, turn on notifications, and share this video. Your support helps this sanctuary of feminine strength grow. Walk forward from this moment, knowing that the most obsessive, captivating force you can ever wield is the quiet, confident, and unwavering energy of a woman who truly knows who she is. It is not about being wanted, but about being so whole that your presence becomes a rare and precious gift. Live in your truth, command your inner kingdom, and watch as the world rearranges itself to meet the undeniable power of a feminine queen.